Yo, what's good, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another reaction video. We got comparing NFL prospects to their dads, man. Let's check this out. First, we got Marvin Harrison Jr. Damn.
And Sons.
MHJ. Most likely will be the first wide receiver off the board.
Impressive feat on its own, but to also have your own child find his way to the league as well is legendary status. There have been roughly 300 father-son combos to both play at least
300
in the NFL. In 2024, I found 6 more father-son duos
Frank Gore Jr.
that will be added to this list. So let's go ahead and
Brendan Rice.
Marvin Harrison Jr. is listed at just under 6'4" and 209 pounds, which is about 4 inches taller and 20 pounds heavier than his dad when he played. Skill set wise, Harrison Jr. has an advantage over his dad for high pointing a ball and fighting off defenders due to his size.
That's nice.
But on the flip side, is not quite as crisp a route runner as his dad. In college, Harrison Jr. played at Ohio State and was a 2-time unanimous All-American.
He's so fucking fast too, bro.
His father was a beast in college as well, earning first-team All-American honors at Syracuse in 1995. Ultimately, as players, even though they have similar strengths within their game, they are different, and Harrison Jr. compares closer to 7-time Pro
AJ Green?
AJ Green, both having that blend of size.
That's a great comparison too.
Here's how I would describe Marvin Harrison Sr. Along with the crisp route running and excelling at the catch point, the biggest advantage that Harrison Sr. had was his impeccable body control. He was great,
we saw that in the first clip,
hits, thus prolonging his career and allowing him the success he had. He
great run after catch,
all-time in career receiving touchdowns. Honestly, this man was a dream player for Peyton Manning.
My very first pass, I threw a 5-yard touchdown pass, and Marvin Harrison ran 48 yards for a touchdown. I remember thinking, this NFL is easy. You just throw a short pass to Marvin Harrison, and he runs for touchdowns.
At 6 foot 185, Harrison was described as the anti-Terrell Owens by
the
the
New
New
York
York Times. In an era of the diva wide receiver, Harrison was quiet, reserved, and simply did his job. And comparing to his son, there is some correlation with the whole anti-diva thing and the high-end work ethic. The biggest difference is Harrison Sr.
You don't see Marvin Harrison Jr. on the media a lot, which is a good thing.
My goal is to be the best receiver to ever play.
Harrison Sr. was selected.
That's my first time ever hearing him talk.
And his son will almost certainly be a top 10, maybe even top 5 pick in the 2024.
Definitely top 5. The Cardinals are definitely going to snag him.
This video is sponsored by SeatGeek. With over 20
okay, buddy. Okay, buddy.
Make sure that shots.
Come on now.
Just
W promo.
Moving on to our second father.
Frank Gore Jr.
We have Frank Gore Sr. and Frank Gore Jr. Frank Jr. is listed by NFL.com at 5'8" and 201 pounds. His dad is slightly taller at 5'9",
slightly heavier.
He was bigger when he played by around 10 to 15 more pounds. Frank Jr. is not overly
11 to be exact.
He is definitely smaller than his dad, but he does display some of the same balance, coordination, shiftiness, and break tackle ability that made his dad so dependable. He plays with that power back mentality.
First look at Frank Gore Jr. lowering the shoulder.
But Frank Gore Jr. won't be able to shoulder the full load in the NFL like his dad did, just because of his size. In college, Frank Gore Jr. was Southern Miss's workhorse back, earning first-team All-Sun Belt honors in 2022 and second-team in 2023. Frank Sr. played a role as a freshman on the 2001 National Championship Hurricane team, and although he did have success at Miami, it was hampered by tearing both of his ACLs at different points during his college career. Frank Sr. ended up being selected in the 3rd round and was initially thought of as an injury-prone player. But 16 seasons later, this guy became known as a true NFL Iron Man, setting the all-time record for most games played by any running back in league history. With his lower center of gravity, Frank Sr. had incredible balance, ability to break tackles.
Yeah, for real, he was definitely like, he was so aggressive as a runner. Same goes for Mark Ingram.
The truth for his son is that he projects to the NFL as an average backup or special teamer, perhaps as a late-round pick or undrafted free agent.
I don't think he's going to be undrafted free agent. I think he might go in like the 4th, 5th round.
John Alt, and his son, Joe.
Oh,
Joe
snap.
Alt stands at a monstrous
Joe Alt, one of the
6'9"
best
and
offensive linemen in this draft class, probably the first one off the
321
board.
just slightly
It's
outdoing his
between
father,
him
who was
and
6'8"
Talisa
and
Fuaga
played around
or Olu
298
Fashanu.
pounds. Interestingly enough,
Those
John
top
has
3.
another son, Mark, who is much smaller in comparison, at only 6'4" and 200 pounds. He was a hockey player and was drafted into the NHL back in 2010. John Alt
shit.
back in the day was a tight end at Iowa, but later put on 40 pounds.
Of course he was a
transitioned
tight end at
to
Iowa. Them
offensive
niggas be
tackle.
producing tight ends like
Nicknamed the
crazy.
Monumental Minnesotan, John was able to maintain his athleticism while building the strength and technique to be a dominant left tackle. This led him to being the second tackle selected in 1984,
Chiefs.
21st overall by the Chiefs. Eventually, John developed into a cornerstone left tackle for the Chiefs, and this is how he was described by his Hall of Fame teammate Derek Thomas. Quote, "In 8 seasons, I've faced almost every tackle in the National Football League, and I've beaten them all. But in 8 years of practice and scrimmage, I can only remember beating John Alt once. I think
Damn.
that is the highest compliment I can pay John." Also, here's a random fun fact. John Alt was
He's
the
in the
strongest
damn
lineman on Tecmo
Retro
Super
Bowl,
so that's pretty cool. Anyways, now imagine if John
goddamn,
Alt was
what's
a
that shit
little bigger
called?
and more athletic, and had a dad who knew exactly
Retro Bowl
how to
screen
coach
and
him
shit.
from a young age to make him more refined and prepared. Because that's Joe Alt. Initially,
Damn.
he was a tight end.
That nigga
before
was
switching
moving
to
too. Y'all saw that
Alt
shit.
because exactly how to coach him from a young age to make him more refined and prepared.
Like, bro was
Because
moving.
that's Joe Alt. Initially, he was a tight end before switching to O-line. Even after committing to Notre Dame, Joe and his dad would watch film together, and by his sophomore year, Joe was one of the best tackles in the country. Throughout his time with the Irish, the hype train continued to grow, and now Joe Alt is seen as a generational prospect and a top 10 pick in the 2024 NFL Draft.
Shit,
Guys who are
generational.
6'9", 320, have dialed in technique, great athleticism, great strength, and solid work ethic don't just come around all that often. Joe Alt sounds like his dad, but with the proper guidance from an even younger age to become a beast. And it showed. Even desperate for better tackle
Bro got
play,
the gold
somebody
beats.
will be clamoring
Okay.
to get this guy. Now let's move to the other side of the line. Chris Jenkins Jr.
Chris
comes in at
Jenkins.
just under 6'3" and 1 biscuit shy of 300 pounds.
One biscuit
He's still noticeably
shy.
smaller than his father, Chris
Yo.
Senior, who stands at a massive 6'5" and played somewhere in the ballpark of 320 to possibly even 360 pounds.
Damn.
Also, Chris Sr.'s brother Colin Jenkins also played in the NFL. He played around 6'2" and 305 pounds. Skill set wise, there is some similarities between father and son, considering they did the dirty work on the inside of the line and stuffed the run. Chris Jr., who goes just by Chris Jenkins, but I'll keep referring to him as Jr. just to keep things simple, has
Yeah.
been described as an athletic, smart, versatile, and tough interior defender. At Michigan, he did the dirty work inside and did it well.
Very
anchoring
talented
that
player,
dominant
too.
Defense on their way to a national championship. This last year, he
Could be a
earned
first-round
second-team
pick, could be a
All-American
second-round
honors,
pick as
compared
well,
to his
like an
dad,
early
who
second-round
played at
pick.
Maryland and earned second-team All-ACC honors as a senior. Chris Jr. actually compares closer to his uncle Cullen, who was around the same size.
Oh,
and had
gosh.
success as a starting level player
Damn.
in the league for 13
Took that nigga
years.
head off.
Here's how his dad was described as a player. According to the Washington Post,
Yeah, Andy
then
Reid.
Eagles coach Andy Reid said, quote, "You're talking about a big, explosive, strong guy, so he'll be a handful." Chris Sr. was a second-round pick to the Panthers back in 2001 and had a highly productive career, playing 10 seasons with 4 Pro Bowls and 2 first-team All-Pros to his name. He was also cut from that old-school cloth. Mean, outspoken, and just about the last guy you'd want to mess with.
Close the schools. Close the schools, bro. Yo. Love the energy though.
Also,
But nigga,
this
it's
may be the
practice.
coolest
Nigga,
video I've ever
relax.
involving this man.
Yo.
That was when he went up against
Oh,
the
gosh.
of sports science. Now comparing his son Chris
Yo.
when he- Also, this may be the coolest video I could find
Nah.
involving this man.
I hope they
That
paid
was
this
when he went up
nigga.
against the host of Sports Science.
Oh my
Now,
gosh, I
comparing
hope they
his
paid
son
him
Chris
good
Jr.,
money for
I don't think
taking this
he's as
spot.
vicious as his dad was.
Yo.
At what age did you realize
That is
if you
crazy.
had to, you could take dad?
That has not happened yet.
Overall, Chris Jenkins Jr. projects well going into the draft. He's seen as a top 5 or 6 defensive tackle in the class and should be selected somewhere in the 2nd to 3rd round range. Staying on the defensive side, Jeremiah Trotter Jr.
Jeremiah
is a
Trotter,
linebacker that comes
in my
at
opinion,
6
the best
feet,
linebacker in this draft
230
class.
pounds, which is significantly smaller than his dad, who's 6'1" and played at 262 pounds. Trotter Sr. was known as the Axeman, doing the axe swinging celebration after big plays.
So
which
that's where
his son
that
did as
celebration
well.
came from.
Trotter Sr. was also one of those tough, old school, big run stuffing linebackers of the early 2000s. The physical and aggressive style, combined with his instincts to find the ball carrier, were key reasons as to his success in the pros. In 11 seasons, Trotter Sr. was a 4-time Pro Bowler and one of the most notable linebackers of the 2000s. Comparing his son's playstyle, Trotter Jr. described himself as a, quote, old school linebacker in a new age body.
Travis wrapped up and spun
Sit down.
Jeremiah
I was hoping Barrett
Trotter
Carter was
was admired the way
gonna
his dad played,
also be in the
which
draft this year,
became
but
a
he's
staple of the way he
gonna
played
stay
growing
back
up.
another year.
What's the biggest thing you learned from Dad?
Oh, bro cut his hair too.
Linebacker, middle linebacker. Just how to be physical, how to play the game the right way.
He was described by NFL.com's Daniel Jeremiah as the following, quote, his game is more about instincts, which obviously are very crucial and very important at the linebacker spot. He is a little bit undersized. He has really good eyes. He sifts and sorts, and he will fill and be physical. Although there are similarities to his father, Trotter Jr. compares more to Nick Bolton, the Chiefs' undersized starting linebacker who's played
That's a
a
great
pivotal role
comparison.
over the last 3 seasons.
Because Nick Bolton has
He's a
been
prospect
on
that if he
fire
were bigger,
these
he
first
would be
3
a
seasons of
first-round
his
pick.
career.
But due to his size,
He was
will
injured
most likely
a lot
fall
last
to a
year,
later
though.
round. He might even end up being selected near where his dad was. Now, as you've seen, most of these dads were total beasts in their day, but no son will
Brendan
have a tougher
Rice.
legacy to live up to than Brendan Rice, the son of Jerry Rice.
Well, he always says, yeah, you got a last name, so you got a target on your back. So make sure you stay in the moment. Don't make the moment too big, and don't overthink.
Facts,
and you'll be just
man.
fine.
At 6'2" and around 210,
We saw what happened with
Brendan was
Thaddeus
just slightly
Moss,
bulkier
you
than
feel
his
me?
dad, who played at just
Not in the
under
league
200
anymore.
pounds.
Well,
At the NFL
he
Combine,
barely was even in the
Brendan
league
put
to
up a
begin with.
4.540, and his dad back in the day ran somewhere in the ballpark of a 4.6 or 4.7, although they didn't train the same way they do today. And everyone agrees that Jerry's game speed was much faster than that. As far as playstyles go, Brendan is a stronger and more powerful player than his dad was. But raw power doesn't determine how good a player is in the NFL. Jerry Rice was known for his exceptional work ethic, discipline, attention to detail, and dedication to his craft. According to a Redditor, he had the best hands of all time, the best route running of all time, and the best run after catch of all time. Pretty much every
And Brendan Rice is
attribute
great
as
at
a
run after
receiver,
catch as
he
well.
was a 10 out of 10. He was so dedicated that the day after winning the Super Bowl, Rice was seen all alone running routes on the practice field. You gotta be obsessed and a little psychotic to play at the level Rice did for as long as he did. 21 NFL seasons, 13 Pro Bowls, 10 All-Pros, 3 Super Bowl rings, and the honor as the greatest receiver of all time. With career numbers that seem unbreakable.
I still think Randy Moss is
Bill
better,
Walsh
buddy.
once described Rice as, quote, a swift, smooth player who's got great instincts running with the ball, going to the ball, and catching in a crowd. His son Brendan's scouting report looks a bit different.
Same effort,
Damn.
and this time it's Brendan
Great
Rice
back
laying
shoulder.
down.
This is according to Lance Zierlein over on NFL.com. Brendan Rice is big and physical, lacks sudden feet, and might have a hard time separating on short routes, is a deep ball threat with quick, strong hands, and his comp isn't his dad, rather Nick Westbrook Ikhine, who's been
Ikhine?
a fourth option type player in Tennessee. While his dad was a first rounder back in his day, Brendan is seen roughly as the 18th best receiver of the class, projecting as a backup who could work his way into some reps over time.
Oh,
And
wow.
I'm sure, even as an NFL player, his dad will be there
Damn.
to push him to be his best.
Great hands catch.
That's strong hands right
No,
there.
no, that's an incredible
yeah,
grab.
but he got to drag that back foot. Yeah.
Dad
trailing it.
critiquing him.
And it was Lewis with the coverage, but Jerry Rice is just unstoppable.
Is that it? That's gonna be it, man. Hey, who y'all think is gonna live up to their dad's legacy the most, man? Y'all let me know down in the comments below. But that's gonna do it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe to the channel. If you're new, turn on my post notifications so you get notified whenever I drop another banger video. And without further ado, I'm out. Gang!